Oh,
Yo, what's up, Don?
hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man? So I think I got everything on my end working. So yeah, you are now on the stream. Welcome, Don. How are you? How's everything going? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Well, here I get. Are you in America, or was it
Ye-
Thanksgiving yesterday for you, or?
Nah, man, I'm in the United States. I had actually no
I see.
idea that Canada celebrated Thanksgiving so early.
Yeah, right. It's weird
I had
because
no idea,
I'm
bro.
saying Happy Thanksgiving to all my friends. Well, all my friends, buddy ears, quote unquote, right?
Mhm.
But and they're all American and Australian, so they're like, "What the fuck you talking about?" Whoa, pardon my language, Sam.
Yeah,
My
man, I
bad.
had no idea. I learned that this year because I now know streamers from Canada.
That's awesome.
That's really
Awesome.
cool, man. So how's everything going? How you feeling? How's everything? Have you been on streams before to talk?
Not to talk or necessarily be interviewed or something like that. I don't know.
Do you
But I
stream?
have been. I have streamed like video games, like Counter-Strike Source, not Source, Source and Global Offensive. Pretty
Okay.
much it. But um,
Mm.
other than like a gaming capacity, when you put on the act.
Mhm.
Well, not saying everyone that streams is an act, but you know what I mean.
No,
You
I
do
feel
gotta
you.
put
You
on
definitely gotta. You turn it
face.
on sometimes.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um, so I didn't give too much context as to why we're having this conversation. I wanted to kind of wait for you to be on here to discuss it. That way, we could both give our perspective on what happened and how it is that we came about speaking like this. So
By all means, yeah.
if you don't mind, I'd love to say how I saw it, where I was when all of it happened,
Please,
and then right
please.
after that, I'd love to get your perspective, and from there you can introduce yourself and what it is, what it is you do.
Sounds great.
All right, so basically, the way that I recall events, I was at work actually that day, and I was checking Reddit. I had posted like I usually do. So I've been interviewing content creators for the month of Hispanic Heritage Month, and I've just been talking about, like being proud of your heritage and all that, like what it's like growing up first generation in the United States. And so I posted a clip of that it's like a 2-hour interview that I do. I posted a 1-minute clip up on Reddit, and I'm at work the next day, and I get a notification, and it says somebody commented, and the comment was essentially, my bad if I'm paraphrasing if I get it wrong, but I think the headline I had put was like, had a great conversation last night with XYZ content creator, whatever, and the comment was expecting to get a great conversation, got diarrhea instead. And
What a asshole thing to say. I'm just
no. So
listening
hold
to
on,
it
hold on.
over. Like, oh my god.
It's all good, man. We'll keep discussing it. We'll discuss it. So I read that, and I'm not gonna lie. If this was like 4 or 5 years ago, I probably would have like started commenting back, like 2016
back
time
to-
period. I was definitely on Facebook a lot, getting into stupid ass arguments, like just dumbass arguments. And had this been like 4 or 5 years ago, I feel like I definitely would have commented like something mean back or something. And but instead, I reread it a couple times, and I was just like, hey man, if what did I say? Hey man, you're more than welcome to come on here whenever you want. I know that it won't be diarrhea if you come on or whatever. Let me know if you want to come through. And really, when I had posted that, man, like I say that to a lot of people. Like I learned that was like one of the ways to just like end a conversation online real quick, because I would be like, hey,
Absolutely.
let's have this conversation like not in person, but let's have this on audio where it's way more productive than it would be if we're just typing. And crickets, I will get crickets. Nobody will come on. Like it would just be, people would always be about the shit that they were typing. But the second that I was like, yo, I'm not typing anymore, like this shit is taking up too much time. If you, I got a podcast. If you want to come on the podcast, you're more than welcome to. People wouldn't do it, but I give you mad props, because you said, oh, okay, like, I don't know if it caught you by surprise, but you were like, oh, an interview? Like, yeah, I would like to come on or whatever, and you kind of told me your story right there. So, from there, you could kind of take it from what it was that happened. What about that post made you stop on there and comment what it was that you commented? If you'd like to give me your perspective on everything and give yourself an introduction, please, you're more than welcome to.
All right. I guess I'll start off by saying my name is Don. Don H. You can pretty much. I'm a Canadian, right? I'm from Vancouver, BC. Um, and I guess this all started with that one troll comment. I mean, you know how everyone nowadays surfs the interwebs, you know, watching TikTok, watching all the shorts on YouTube and whatever. But you know, few people take the time out of their day to actually like try to shit on someone else's. You know what I mean? It's a toxic attitude that like we have almost adapted as a society, and I'm to blame. Even you know, there's no excuse. Even with a horrific, I won't say horrific. That's a little too much. But even with a horrible past, you know, I have no. There's no reason for anyone to be toxic to anyone else, especially like for something as small and minuscule as like what you were saying. Like, you know, when I watched the video again, I was like, wow, like, you know, case in point, like, you know, when people just like read between the lines, don't think, and just fucking want to shit on someone's life. You know, I see you, you know, you're like a you're coming up as a streamer, you know, you got a decent amount of views, in my opinion, like, you know, just for chilling and chatting, like, kudos. But you get people like me, well, not necessarily me all the time, but, you know, people in moods that want to just basically, you know, they're sharks, they're wolves, man. They just want to rip you down, right? When you're actually, you know, prevailing, to be honest, like, you know.
But look, man, I think it takes a lot of like courage to come onto a stream and actually speak about stuff like this. Like I said, I would say this to people like, yo, I got a podcast, just come on here and talk about it, and nobody would do it. And it takes a lot to what you're saying, because it's so true, man. Like, and look, you're saying, like, I give you so much appreciation for what you say about, like, you know, I'm up and coming or whatever. I'm just like trying, you know, I'm out here just trying to do what I'm doing, trying to build a community. But you know, I'm not big by any means of the imagination. I'm still a small ass streamer, but even it affects everybody, you know, like that jealousy itch, like looking at somebody like who's doing well and being like, well, why is that not me? And like having
even
that
the
urge.
slightest, man, it's like it's horrible. Even in the slightest, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to like push you down or anything like that, but you know, you don't got 8,000 viewers, and you know, you're not like a massive big shot.
Exactly.
I mean, if you were, you probably wouldn't have even seen the comment, to be honest. But I mean,
who knows?
That's I guess that's the worst part about it. The person, like, that's the personal attack that, you know, that went through. You know, that's where. I mean, I feel like my attitude is totally kind of sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say, somebody in the chat said, you know, appreciate you, dude. You're growing yourself by being on the show, and that's so true, man. Just coming on here is like really a cool thing that you did. But what you were saying, you will be surprised, man. Like, you think that some of these comments don't affect these really big streamers, like even somebody with like 36,000 like viewers or whatever, and like some of them, they'll read a comment and we never know, like, you know, at night they might be crying themselves to sleep. That shit might really fuck with them, and you never know.
It's even to top this off, I don't know if you've ever heard of Byron Bernstein. Used to stream on Twitch. Rackful, his name was. Used to play World of Warcraft, but he was one of the most famous Twitch streamers, and I used to know him like personally, and he killed himself, man. You know, like from depression, from, you know, just, you know, he's a successful gamer, successful streamer, and he took his own life because of actions like I participated in, basically. You know, when you're hiding behind a screen, you're hiding behind a shield. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, we've kind of I was gonna say that we've kind of become like desensitized to the empathy of other people, because, you know, I don't know, would you say comments like that in person? Like, if, let's say you're at a cafe and you see somebody,
I'll tell you,
would you say something like that?
If we met in real life, I'm the nicest person. I would give you the shirt off my back. You know what I mean? Which is like, as soon as you message back and you didn't bite the troll, you know what I mean? You didn't feed the fire. Like, I immediately, like, my lack of a better analogy, I put my dick between my legs, basically. I was like, oh, you know, like,
Hey man, it's
as an adult, you know,
it's
accountability.
surprising out there to see somebody not just get back into an argument, because it's very easy to. And like I said, like, had this been
Oh, yeah.
5 years ago, I might have responded differently, just because at that time, like, you know, everything was so goddamn tense in America. Like, there was just Facebook arguments all the fucking time. But you know, now, like, I've matured. I'm 28 right now, and I've come to understand that, like, you know, just kill him with kindness. Like, that is the greatest thing you could do. And nobody expects that. That's the thing, is that we are so used to living in toxic environments online, especially like the streaming community because of video games, that we are just used to people being on edge all the time and being ready to fucking defend themselves and to say something hateful. And it sucks. So when you do hear like something nice from somebody, it kind of takes you back.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, in complete honesty, when I read the text, I heard emotion. You know what I mean? In my reading it through, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like, you know, just reading. You got personal, right? And that's the thing. People are. I'm definitely to blame for this. Everyone is. I can say COVID doesn't help, and you know, situations in real life don't help, but you know, you become a shell of like a confident person, you know. I feel like everyone used to be, you know, good Samaritan, you know, common, what is it, courtesy, you know. That used to be a thing, but nowadays I feel like the generation of TikTok and instant gratification and Tinder and swiping left, I feel like that's just degraded everyone, you know what I mean? Even in real life, man. If you look, I don't mean to say man or anything. I'm just very, you know.
No, you're good, bro. You're good.
For
you know, yeah, it's taking a little bit of the human element out of it. Somebody did ask, if you know what you're going to say is gonna hurt someone, though, why say it? And it kind of does sound like, you know, you are aware of that it was gonna.
I was 100% aware, 100% knowing.
why
I knew
do it?
exactly what I was saying. I was trying to shit on your day and just fucking rip you down off of Reddit, man. That's the problem, you know. But like ever since then, and I mean that was an outburst. I rarely do that, right? But get personal like that. But to be honest, you know, there's a you're just a domino in the line of dominoes I
and
tipped over long ago.
And you know, Reddit comments are public, man. Like, so one of the first things that I did when I read the comment that you left was go on to your Reddit page and see kind of what the other comments that you were leaving on other posts were like. And a lot of it did seem really negative, man. So that's why, like, I personally did not get that. Like, I didn't let it take me down. Also, like, I've been creating content for like 10 years, like, you know, and I used to create shit that sucked. It was garbage, man. That shit was like genuinely shit that I look back at now and I cringe. And I would get hateful comments back when I was 18. So, like, you know, 10 years later, I'm able to like process it all, and it doesn't really affect me as much. Also, the other reason was I saw that, a lot of the comments that you would leave on other posts and in other communities also seemed to be negative. So it wasn't like, I didn't take it personal. It kind of felt like, you know, I was just, at the wrong place of a troll, like, you know, a troll that just found my post.
Basically, just, you know, in the crosshairs of a fucking, you know, maniac, basically. I'm not saying I'm crazy, but, you know, there has been a series of events that has taken place to, you know, result in the person I have become. It's
and
a long story.
I definitely want to ask you about it, and I definitely want you to tell that story. But just real quick, like, you know, reading through those comments that you were leaving on other posts, I also would see comments of you being super supportive, like when it comes to music. So that's what people don't know yet, and I want you to explain that yourself. You do some mixing and mastering, correct? You do music?
Yeah. Mix, master, production, whatever.
And I've seen your comments on certain posts in certain communities that have to do with music, and you would give advice. You would tell them, you know, your vocals are powerful enough where you don't need to add this. You could bring this down. And I was like, yo, this is somebody who has the capability of being very positive and being, you know, very helpful in these communities. So what is it about some posts that make you, you know, want to troll and bring them down, and then other ones you're actually very, very helpful?
I can't say content because, you know, a lot of the time that I'm negative, it's especially on like posts about music or anything to do with that. That's like the spectrum of, my field, uh, quote unquote bunny ears, right?
Mhm.
But it's as easy as just typing, like when people do like post questions, they post I don't want, I can't swear. I feel like I can't swear. I feel
Dude, you can swear, you can say
insane.
whatever, man.
Oh,
You're
okay, cool,
really
cool.
like
I
I'm giving you this platform here to really express
don't
yourself.
get a strike or anything, but
No, 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 no. Fuck that. I'm not big enough for them to notice that shit.
I mean, like it's as easy as going on Google. Like I'll say by as simple as I started mixing and mastering 2 years ago after a pretty vicious accident, 2.5 years ago or so, and that's my job now. I didn't go to school. I didn't take theory. I didn't take band in school. I didn't do any of that.
I think it would
And
be easier if you told your story like that way people kind of know
sure, I can
the
sum it up.
timeline
It's
of
pretty
events. Hmm.
pretty short. I mean, I used to be a semi-pro skater. I used to be fairly known around the community here in Vancouver, sponsored by a few local shops and stuff. Used to work full time at Costco as well. So, I was doing like 15, 16-hour days filming and shit like that, and then working at Costco, whatever. But so I was pretty active,
Hmm.
you know. I got married real young, like super young. I got married at 18.
Damn.
Was with her for 10 years, so, since I was 15.
Wow.
And it all came crashing down at one certain point in my life. I got hit by a car and shattered every rib and most of the bones in my left torso, my hip, totally dislocated my hip, shoulder, everything was
Oh man.
nasty.
You were
So I couldn't
skating?
walk. Yeah, I was skating. I hit head on 80 or so kilometers. I think
Oh
an hour. It
jeez.
was pretty gnarly. If it wasn't for the fact that I was, you know, battle hardened from all the skateboarding, I probably would have been way worse. I just destroyed.
Hmm.
Um, I'm reading the stream and everything, and I'll let everyone know uh, handles and whatever at the end. And no
Hmm.
big deal. But so, anyways, I got totaled basically. You know, at that point, you can imagine somebody being super active and then having everything just crash down like that, right? You can't walk. I moved back in with my parents because I needed it to have someone 24/7 to help me get out of bed, to like fuck wipe my ass and shit, and like I can't even, full humility. Um, and then certain point, my ex now walked in to my room that I was staying in. She said that she no longer wanted to be with me. She cheated on me, doesn't love me anymore, and that was it. Literally, probably a 5 minute closure conversation, and black holed me. And I haven't heard or spoken to her since. I haven't seen her since. Um, we're talking someone, marriage, everything, finance, everything, all that.
Hmm.
Um, cut in half, basically. Well, not even.
Hmm.
Uh, like literally, I just gave it to her. I had no drive to like try to obtain any material possessions when I'm literally like spiraling out of control in my mind. I'm suicidal, shit like that. Playing video games all day. I can't walk and whatever. But that's the light at the end of the tunnel. I guess that's a wrong analogy, but that's like what happens. I mean, she cheated on me, screwed me up. I buried it, and I said, screw video games, put that down, and I picked up a music theory book, and I just started reading and getting into audio and getting into mixing, getting into everything. Audio, especially with video games. You play video games, you got binaural headphones. When you turn, the sound has to be treated and stuff. So I got really into that. Not to say that I was dealing with my problems. I was totally burying everything. Like, holy, up until a certain point that, like, I mean, to the other day, I go through tangents of suicidal thoughts. I can't covet the nature of killing myself. I can't think about killing myself. I don't understand how someone can kill themselves. but I can understand how somebody would not want to live. You know what I mean? Like it's not death that's the worst thing. It's suffering. You know what I mean? In my opinion. So up until just maybe 4 days ago, I was in this rut of like one day I'll be happy, nice, just fine, and then 10 days of just hate my life, take my headphones off, stop mixing, stop listening to music. Immediately I feel like I look at myself, I can't do shit, blah blah blah. No help from no one, just horrible. But turn of events occurred just 4 days ago. I finally, after 2 years, I got accepted for government assistance. So I'll actually be getting some income.
Hell yeah.
I won't have to work 19 hours of mixing every day to just to fucking eat. You know what I mean?
Hey man, congratulations on that. And I like that, always look for the positive in things. I know especially with fucking government assistant programs, like that shit takes forever. You start feeling like, god damn it, the government can't do shit right.
I felt shameful though. I didn't push it because I felt shameful, man. Like, I don't know, I've always worked for everything I've made. I've gotten, so I hate being on someone else's tab.
Dude, there's like a giant sense of that in like the United States. I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but like, yeah, here there are a lot of people who definitely, like, they do not like to say that they have to apply for unemployment benefits or that they have to get government housing vouchers and stuff like that. But like, because it's always people thinking like, oh, I don't want to be the person who's like dependent on someone else.
I don't need help. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want people to pity me. But that's what those programs are there for. And at one point you were paying taxes to go into that shit so that when you needed it, you would get it.
Yeah.
So
that's just like the work ethic and everything. Like, for me at least personally, that built in. It's still a pride factor, and I'm still trying to shed.
For sure.
But I mean, I can understand that in America. That's why it's so super tense. I mean, I don't know, just scrolling through any mainstream social media, it's like 2 seconds into a video, a massive fist fight just explodes. Like, and this is a common occurrence. It's like, holy, people are hitting each other with malicious intent.
Yeah,
like
it's not good.
They want to kill. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
It's not good, man. But did you at some point start going from, because I imagine, like, let me say that when I hear your story, like, I know myself, and I would have definitely felt the same way as you. Like, I would have felt very bitter at life. I would have been like, why is this all happening to me? Like, everything is snowballing. Why me? What did I do? And it would be very difficult. Like, I know somebody in my family would be like, oh, you should just be grateful that you're alive, that what's it called? Oh, my bad. 1 second. I'm pretty sure I just got followed by a bot. Goddamn fucking bots, man. Dude, these things are all over fucking Twitch. So many bots. But I know that if somebody in my family had been like, oh, you should just be grateful that you're alive, I would have been like, what? Well, that shit is real easy to say. Yeah, that's real easy to say when you're not in the bed.
Exactly.
Somebody says, whatever you put in the universe only comes right back to you. You are your own controller of your life and others by self-action. See, it's stuff like that is true, but at the time, like, in that moment, you're not going to be able to see that. Like, it's just
I can retort against that for sure, because I mean, I'm a Caucasian male, okay? And let's say I'm fairly extroverted when it comes down to society. So after all this occurred, I've been kind of a hermit for a while, and I've just been, kind of lost touch with friends, and I don't really have a social life, to be honest now. So all I get to do is observe social media or like whatever is put in front of me, and I usually have a pretty good filter. I don't comment, try not to, or be positive, but when certain things get me, like race and this is funny because I'm Caucasian, like race, and political correctness, and that's not so much an issue for me. It's just like getting things straight, like getting facts, not facts, but getting intentions clear. You know what I mean?
Do you
Like,
feel like that stuff kind of gets on your nerve because you're so online? Like, I feel like
oh,
that's the type of
absolutely,
stuff
absolutely.
that those online bubbles drive, like that anger and that hatred towards those specific subjects.
I mean, man, when I used to have social life, saying that it's funny. Yeah, no, I used to love. If you made eye contact with me, I'd say hello and try to spark a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point, like, of being sheltered and just, what is it? Embarrassed or scared, I was super confident back in the day, but as I've kind of, you know, buried myself away, I've become a little bit agoraphobic, where it's like, especially nowadays, man, with the race, like, from my perspective, I grew up with no bias, and this is no lie, man. Like, I don't give a shit who, what, what, anything about your ethnicity. What's behind your eyes and between your ears is what I care about. Fucking brain, the mind. I don't care about anything on the outside. My entire life, and now all it is, like, literally all it is, I can't say literally, but the majority of our society is focused on this, and it's like devolution. I don't think that's a word. De-evolution. It's like we're going back in time. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I always say, I really do think that it's just because, like, so I think you're around my age. We are like we're like the last generation that really got to experience life before the internet, before social media. Like, we had part of our childhood where I still remember the fucking broadband, the America Online bullshit that you had to do just to get some internet. Yeah. And dude, I remember all that shit. So, like, Gen Z doesn't get to experience that. Like, my little brother's Gen Z. He's 15, and he grew up his whole life just being able to look into anything that he wanted on Google, talk about any single problem, anything that was on his mind. He could go onto something like Reddit and find other people that have those same, concerns or criticisms or whatever. So that way you start feeling like, oh wait, I'm not the only one who feels like this. Which is why I think we discuss, like, we're at a point in our society where we talk about so many of these issues so often, because it's just because so often we didn't have outlets like, if you couldn't get on the news, who the hell was going to listen to you before you had YouTube and you could just broadcast yourself? Nobody was going to listen to you. So I do think that that's part of the reason why. I just want to read some of these comments, because also, like, part of the reason why I wanted you to come on here was to show you, man, there's a lot of people out here, like, that
I'm reading these.
You could create a community with, you could talk to, you could chop it up with, like, people out here that they're all about just being positive and good vibes. And I'm very happy that, like, some of these people came out here tonight, because I wanted to show you, there's gonna be people that just want to check out your music, something so simple, but just to show you, like, look, there's good people out there.
Not everyone's cup of tea. I mean,
Hey, man, who cares? You're doing something. Yeah. And I heard some of it. That shit is grimy as fuck. I know for a fact there are people in here that would love that shit. Truly says, just because someone may seem happy or whatnot, doesn't seem that they don't face their own demons every day. What separates those people from negative people is that good people not letting their inner demons become their disposition. Then someone said, so right, and that's the test we get. It's up to us to make the very best decisions, not for our own, but for others. Somebody says, the internet is a huge rabbit hole. It's up to you how deep you want to dig, but beware that it might be too deep to dig back out. I've been there. You can have to go out and appreciate life and connect to nature and to other human beings. If you don't care for online bullshit, get offline, my guy. Yo, and so that's coming from somebody who I also interviewed this month, and they were discussing about their.
Hopefully, I didn't shit on that interview.
No, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. But
by all means, everyone who saw that, it's like, realize that I'm human and I made an absolute ass mistake. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure, man.
By all means, right?
Like I said, nobody's here to judge you. Everybody thinks that it's very, very brave to come on here and to admit that you said something that was trolling and something hurtful, but you want to, you want to grow from it, and you just realized it after.
Absolutely.
what was I gonna say? Do you feel in any way that what happened with your relationship, your marriage, has now caused you to be kind of bitter and angry at women specifically?
I can say yes and no, but I'll defend myself when I say yes in regards to, how people come to, correlate relationships. How you meet somebody like in schools is completely different than meeting someone at a bar. I mean, fuck, I've never been to a bar, man. I'm 27 years old. I don't like, it's not my thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. But, it comes down to like talking, whatever. When I was with my ex, I could flirt with a girl I would never. But I mean, I could be utmost confident. You know what I mean? Now, I have kind of just deleted them from my like sexual prowess. Like I don't look at people like that anymore after my relationship. But what I do see is like when you go on Tinder, you go on Facebook dating, you go on Hinge or Bilge or whatever, you get these profiles, man, and like I don't know if any female on here wants to actually check this out, make a troll account, a catfish man account, male account, and like look at all the females. I wonder how it is for men, because it's literally like every one, and let's say 90%, because I can't say all, 90% of them, they have their Instagram handle, and they have a list of demands, and then they're showing, I won't say indecent because it's the body, but I mean they're showing intentional pictures of themselves sexually. I mean, I won't lie, like human beings are sexual, or like creatures. Animals. Yeah, we are. And like I'm not saying that like because you wore short shorts you got raped, you shouldn't have worn them. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that like when you got a picture of yourself in the mirror and you're just like flexing your ass, and like then you're demanding a good guy. You know what I mean? Like it's the utmost contradictory thing you can ever ask for. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous, and that's what's kind of poisoned my overlook and about that whole social media thing, because that's the only interaction I have with females, at least. You know what I mean? Especially with COVID, you don't just meet people. You don't just,
of course,
nowadays. Yeah.
So let me say, there's a couple comments in here that I think are very important. Then I'll tell my story and my perspective on online dating. But so from the chat, people are saying, not all women are like that, hun. Just the girls who haven't matured. Persona, who I was talking about, who I interviewed, he's now...
Men are like that too, by the way.
Yeah, and exactly. Men can be like that as well.
100%, yeah.
Persona says, I was married for 7 years, faithful and loyal, and got cheated on and kicked out of my own house. But my ex does not represent all women. It's that simple. Which and then so essentially I actually met my wife off of social media. Now this was like a thing where I was like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Like I'm meeting somebody that I actually want to spend my life with. Like this is, for me, it was the most absurd thing to think that like people actually made genuine relationships on these dating apps, because the way that I was using them prior to that was not for committed relationships, which is why I agree with when we say like, there are guys out there as well. Like if we were to make
they're wolves, man. Yeah. The majority of us are wolves. It's
and the way that you say, there are women out there who just stand in the mirror and they dress provocatively and they do all that.
I can't say I don't want to get it diluted, because there's nothing wrong with any of those photos, but there is a contradiction when it comes down to, it's like, yo, I'm looking for a good guy, man. I've been treated like shit by every relationship. I've just been fucking trampled on, put my trust in everyone, and I just get fucking cheated on. And then scroll down and they got nothing but, provocative photos. It's like, It's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
shit.
and there's mad memes like that where it's like women will be saying like they don't want anything specific, and then they're asking for like, you gotta have a master's degree, be 6'4", bench like fucking 300 pounds, have a fucking 700 credit score, at least 10 grand in the bank and shit like that, you know. And then I see it for, you know, there are dudes like that as well.
Yep.
But the thing is, yeah, so why I asked this question is because while I was on the Reddit and I saw the comments, like I did kind of feel like I saw a pattern where it was like you did seem a little bit bitter and angry towards women specifically, and I don't want that to happen, man. I want you, like, do you ever feel like no, but don't say horrible, man, because definitely, you know, don't think like that. Think, you know, you're on here, you want to grow, you want to have a discussion. I mean, the only way you can do it is acknowledging.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, that's the first step, right? Yeah, for sure. But I can't say that like it's totally unbiased, you know. I mean,
you have your experience.
I speak for most, both genders, all genders. Okay, all people. Like, just there's nothing about the like superficial, the, you know, aesthetic that matters, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about the personality. That's the worst part about like losing someone that you've been with for so long. Not the sex, not the lovey-dovey. It's the friendship, that deep connected, like, telekinesis friendship, you know. That's the worst thing. And like ever since then, it's like I can say I am totally bitter in that regard to try to learn about someone now after totally growing like from a seedling, you know, like with one person. So
yeah, that's
a, you know, I hope after COVID it culls and becomes a little bit more normal to, like, you know, go to a fucking library and say hi to someone. Like, that's my ideal deal, dude, you know.
You'd
like,
prefer to meet somebody in person the old school way than like on one of these apps?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Listen to me on the apps. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not toxic on apps, on like dating apps. I don't use them. I can't. But like, you know, if you're behind a screen, you're toxic.
I see you on the Reddit comments being mad positive. Like, what if you found somebody that also did some type of music? Like, you could always talk to people about, you know, your personal interests. Find somebody who's interested in the same things as you.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's the thing. You know, for 6 or 7 months, I was not trying, but I was looking. I was meeting people here and there and whatever. But at the time, I wasn't really established. It was like, oh, I just broke my body, and now I'm trying to become a music producer. And like, you know, like, listen, if you hear those words, when I uttered them, it makes my spine chill, you know what I mean? Like, bro, it's like, oh gosh.
That is one of the coolest fucking things, man, that you decided to pick up an audiobook, which big shout out to all the audio engineers out there, because I've sat in a studio with an audio engineer and they've had to just listen to the same thing over and over and over and over, just tweaking little ass things. I'm like, bro, are you even doing anything right now? Is anything changing? And they
half a decibel at a time.
Yeah, just have to keep playing it. So big shout out to audio engineers, and the fact that you decided to pick that up, like, you know, it's very, very sad and upsetting when you put your whole heart and your whole life into something like skating, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away. You can't do it anymore. But you found something else in your life, and that's really amazing, man. Like, you should look at the same way you look at audio as the new, you know, the new thing that you're extremely passionate about.
Yeah.
Just know that there's going to be somebody out there who is very into the same things as you and who wants to give you that companionship. Like, I don't want you to not ever go back out there, man. I definitely want you to go back out there and find that companionship.
You know what? Like, since you know, we've met, you know, I've actually like called, you know, therapy centers, like, to get group counseling, just to talk to someone, get some face-to-face conversation. Like, I literally just need that. Like, I can't hear my conscience anymore. It's fucking driving me nuts. Yeah, but like, you know, I get accepted, and I get, you know, all this paperwork and all this shit I had to go through, all these hoops, and then they tell me it's on Zoom, you know what I mean? After I'm the whole time I'm saying I just need some face-to-face contact. we can wear masks and be 20 meters away, you know, like it's just that like nobody will understand you specifically unless they meet you in person. You're
100%,
acting.
man.
You're acting every when you're translating your emotions through your fingers. Like you're acting.
You're giving
You
the
know what I
best
mean?
parts of yourself. That's the biggest thing, is that you're giving the best parts of yourself. You're not, you're not gonna go onto these dating apps and be like, I'm a little jealous, I'm a little insecure about this. Like most people go on
Yeah.
there and they just talk about the good things about themselves. Not too many people will go on there and discuss like, yo, these are my insecurities. This is what I'm afraid of. This is what I'm not that great at. Most people, that's what social media is. You know what I'm saying? Like just uploading the best parts of your life 1 minute at a clip at a time, or 140 characters at a time, not really showing the flaws and the insecurities. But you will find that definitely in even in social media. Like, dude, I was the same way. Like with my wife, we spoke on social media for, I want to say, a week. I feel like if we had only spoken for like a few days and then we met, or we had spoken for like it was like the perfect amount of time, a week. And then I was like, after this, if we don't meet after like a couple weeks, then like, you're not a real person. You're a bot to me. Like until we meet in person, you're not real. You're not a real person.
So yeah.
So
I'm almost avoiding that.
Yeah, but you'll always be able to find somebody, like get through the social media, the online stuff real fast. And then, if everything is calm and safe in your area, like, yeah, get some coffee or something. Like, it really is so important to talk to people. And
Totally.
I didn't really appreciate that until my wife told me, like, she works from home. So she doesn't get to leave that. She can leave the house if she wants, but she works in the house.
There's no correlating chain to.
She doesn't have coworkers. There's nobody to speak to, where it's like, if you don't meet people at your workplace, it's very hard to meet people in your adult life. Like you don't have a school, you don't have a workplace. Like what do you do? And I didn't
Especially
appreciate
if you're
that.
in a relationship. Like I don't know about you, but like I sheltered myself from people. I instead of being like, oh, I'll go to the bar with my coworkers after work. I that was a no, because I would never put myself in a situation, even though I can control myself. I would never put myself in a situation where I can foresee anything going south. Like me cheating, which I would never do consciously ever. That's not, it's just how I eliminate the factor that could even result in me doing that. So now it's like, now I don't have a full-time job, and all those people I worked with for 10 years, I'm not friends.
Yeah, no,
They
bro,
pretty much
it's hard. It's
moved
hard
on.
to
It's
start
brutal.
over.
Brutal.
It's hard to start over. Somebody in the
Over.
chat said, you lost your friend, lost your wife, but you have to make sure you don't lose yourself, man. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, somebody commented about that rabbit hole analogy was spot on. Like spot on. My attitude has just gone from, I don't know if anyone in chat or anyone knows about it's called The Myth of Sisyphus book by Albert Camus.
Nah, what's
I
that
believe
about?
Albert Camus or something. I think it's a Greek myth about a guy who is pushing a boulder up a mountain. That's basically his permanent. The myth of Sisyphus is constantly cursed to push a boulder up a mountain. That's what it's felt like, And for me, like, I have nothing to bitch about, man. Like, I'm born in the first world. I'm Caucasian, okay? And that's not a white pride thing. You know what I mean? That's just like I am fucking privileged to the nines, man. I have no foundation to complain, So I don't, which is, that's just kind of just piling on dirt that in the grave I've dug. Right? Like, it's just more weight, no release, no talking, it's...
Dude, but you're aware of it. Like, trust me when I say that there are people out there who are maybe not in the same position as you, but they're in a position where, they've grown bitter, but they also are not even aware of the white privilege or any of that. Like, they really just see it as like, well, my life has been shitty, so everybody else's life should be shitty.
Horrible. That's horrible.
But
I mean, I'm ignorant to the privilege. I totally recognize, and I totally understand white privilege and recognize it. I can't even say I accept it, because it's fact. It's like it's there, you know.
Somebody
But
says it's never good to say you have nothing to complain about. Everybody's problems are important. And yeah, I was on that for a while. Like I would always be like, my problems might not be the same. Like they might not be as bad as like a homeless person, for example, on the streets of the city. But then in comparison, their problems are not as bad as somebody who was born in a third world country where the fucking guerrilla forces there control the town and they live in fear all the time. Like it's always kind of what's it called?
so always something worse, always someone worse off than you. Always,
kind of,
right?
it's kind of what's it called? Mr. J-Star, thank you so much for hosting. It's always in relation to that person's life, and everybody handles situations very differently, man. Like, trust me when I say that there are a lot of people who would have never picked up that audiobook. They would have just continued to live extremely bitter that the thing that they loved and that they did for so long was taken away from them. They would not have learned something new.
I will say I did for a while, like time, I was literally like playing an MMO on Xbox and crying to like a fucking Xbox Live party to get like about my life. Now I just wanted to like seriously just buy a nitrous tank and just end it. But like, I don't know. There's all like you've been saying. There's always something that snaps and ignites. Like I felt it. I felt a fucking like a candle just totally ignite inside of me, and it was like it was like nope. I'm not being defeated by this bullshit. You know what I mean? You're right. Like positivity, like it's positive squad. Everything in life is it's life is suffering, man. It's just our job to make it less sufferable, and we can do that by being like comrades and like actually like good Samaritans to each other, like community. That's something we've totally abandoned. It feels like just totally abandoned.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how it is in the States, but here it's like, in Canada at least, I haven't made eye contact with someone. They haven't made eye contact back in 2 years since I've been fucking living here. So, it's horrible. It's hectic.
1 second, somebody's Persona, thank you so much for the raid. I just hear fucking Vikings. So I don't want to interrupt what you're saying. Thank you so much, Persona. No worries. What was I gonna say? I think I read somewhere that you said you left like your Xbox, like what you were doing playing Xbox, because the community was just so toxic. And
that too.
It's super important that you did that, and I really do think that you should I think everybody should do this. Everybody should take a second to reflect on what communities they're a part of, like where it is that they're spending most of their online time. And if you see that you're in a place where it's extremely toxic and it's making you worse off, like leave that, because positivity really is contagious. Like even in our situation,
it embeds it into your personality.
And in our situation, like your comment could have then led me to be negative, which then I could have been scrolling on my news feed, and then I could have been like looking at things in a different light, like more angrily. But instead, yeah, I could be like, God damn it, somebody made my day fucking shitty, I'm gonna make somebody else's day shitty. But when you're instead like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna be positive. And I do think, I've said this before, men are not used to really receiving compliments as much as women are. Women like will compliment them each other way more often. If a dude gets a compliment from another dude, it's kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Or if a dude gets a compliment from a woman, they automatically think that they want to fuck them.
Oh yeah, right.
Exactly. Right. So we need.
That's
to
why
just
it's so hard for me to take compliments.
What's up?
Fuck. I mean, personally, I don't know about you or anyone in chat, but compliments, it's like when somebody compliments something I've done or anything, it's like, it's almost like an embarrassment. It's like,
you feel embarrassed?
Always. I don't know, my entire life, always. It's like, doesn't matter. Don't. If you're rank 1 or none, it doesn't matter. Just we gotta normalize people getting complimented for just normal like little things, like because it doesn't have to be a huge thing to one person, but to another person that could be like, damn, I fucking was depressed for a long time and this was extremely hard. Straight up. I mean, you were the catalyst in like a long chain of toxicity I was going through. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty bad. Like you said, you read my comments and stuff. It's probably 90% negative, and then the rest was like just tips on music, But you were the catalyst, and it takes people like you, conscious people, that, it can actually take a step back objectively and realize that what situation that they're in.
Oh, 1 second, my bad. Now somebody else is breaking. 1 second. Thank you so much for the rating. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, Don, my bad. If you could finish off on that thought.
Just it takes a benefactor, it takes a catalyst, like someone to break the mold, like I was getting stuck in my ways, just my hermit, agoraphobic, fucking toxic, male, toxic masculinity, whatever, just the internet. Man,
No,
as soon
bro,
as
it's
face to
real.
face, I would, it's like I'm honest. If I don't like something, it's like, how do you like my shirt? I'll be like, I don't fucking like your shirt. I'll be honest. But like, you never get that from me, because it's like I just give less of a shit. As long as you're warm, I don't care if you're wearing a shirt or a fucking Snuggie. You know what I mean? Like, dude, for real.
Yo,
Like,
man.
that's how I am in life.
But so you should translate more to that, like online, like, because having this conversation with you is way different. And I knew this. This is why I always tell people, like, hey man, let's just stop typing about this out. I have a podcast or whatever. Come on here and talk to me about it, because I know the second that you actually have, like, even though this is not even face to face, as soon as you hear somebody's voice and you can hear the context, you could hear sarcasm, you could hear different inflictions. You don't have to assume, okay, this person typed this out. What did they mean with this? You don't have to do that. Like, they're giving it to you exactly right there.
Yeah, you feel it for sure. Like, just the tonality of your voice, and that's why I agreed to this. It's like, everything I type, if you read it, my entire transcript here, if you were to read the entire thing, it could be taken so negatively, but like without the context of the emotion in my voice, like you can tell that, like, this is something that's like fucking deep seated in me, and it bothers me in life. You know what I mean? So, like,
And
I'm conscious of that too, though. Like, I'm conscious of the fact that, like, it takes that, which is another problem, man. Like, I'm conscious of it. I know I'm doing it. But it's like this era that we're in, this epoch, I feel like it's too easy to just cut someone's throat and, like, and then cut the rope, basically. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
it's horrible. It's, it's horrible.
Yeah, but, man. I don't know if you remember. There was I remember when I was in college, there was what's it called? This social media app called Yik Yak, where essentially you could just type out comments to people, and it was completely anonymous.
Yep.
It was similar to, there was another one too, and that one was when I was in high school, and it was all anonymous comments. And I'm not gonna lie, the one when I was in high school, when I was like 16, 17, I definitely wrote shit on people's stuff that, like, I would not be proud of today, because the feeling of, wow, nobody knows who I am when I say this, I can just say, like, the worst things possible, that doesn't escape everybody. Like, that is definitely a feeling people have, and I never wanted to, like, hurt people's feelings, but you just say, like, things like that are a little bit more, like, they kind of poke at you a little more, like, just hurtful things. And it's definitely, when you have a conversation with somebody, even through voice, like, that all changes. Somebody said, I heard you say that you don't like political correctness or race conversation.
Yeah, I just read that.
MLK said we should be judged by our character. So if it's not about all that stuff, let your character speak for itself. Falazi, you need to change some aspects of yourself if you truly want to better for yourself, dude. Be mindful. Yeah, it's hard, but brings great rewards.
I agree with everything said, but I also have to say that, like, Martin Luther King wasn't on a podcast or live streaming, behind a computer, or like just typing posts on Twitter. He was in front of the world to hear the actual, the trauma in his voice, like that, the dominance from the emotion. You know what I mean? Someone like myself, who I've become very introverted, but I'm not as a person. Like, man, I can stand, at one point when I was playing games on stream, Counter-Strike, 8,000, 9,000 people watching the pro game I was playing, I wasn't feeling anything, you know what I mean? Now it's like I got 11, there's 11 people watching me, and I'm I'm on the fence.
Nah,
Even though I
man, you're
deal with
doing
people
great.
in music all day, like their opinions and shit like that. So it's interesting, interesting.
You'll get your confidence back, man. You'll 100% get it back. It's all about just like, just being proud of what you're doing. I've always thought that
It's all about people like you. That you can't. I can't let that go. It's all about the rock on the road that changes the path, man. Like straight up, like it was just that. All it took was that bump, like. And you know what? It could have 99% of the time you could have just ignored it, or it could have gone south and snowballed into just something else. And it's like, if you look back at that post, the amount of effort I put into trying to fuck with you was so little. It's like it's so pathetic, so pathetic. It's actually it's embarrassing. And it's like I'm full humility. It's like I'm not apologetic in the sense that I did it. 'Cause it's like I did it. You know what I mean? But I'm apologetic in the sense that it's like that's the degradation I've gotten to. It's like horrible. It's embarrassing. It's just.
Have you gotten hateful comments? Like, have you dealt with like trolls when it comes to the things that you're passionate about creating?
To be honest with you, okay, I don't want to seem conceited, but everything in my life, like skateboarding, like I always have to be good. It's not a matter of like competition or anything. It's like skill cap. If there's a ceiling, I want to hit it. You know what I mean? Like I've done it in everything I've ever done, and like I'm not saying I'm top of the end. I'm not who's a producer. I don't fucking know. I'm not Eminem. He doesn't produce, but I'm not Dr. Dre.
Swizz Beatz.
I'm Timberland. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not Kenny Beats or anyone, but like I'm making money off of something that those guys went to school for 8 years for. And prior to they had knowledge in it. I do it for 2 years, and it's like everything I do it's like an OCD trait to be just 110%. It's like, like if you play C or C on the keyboard and the lowest C note is 128.7 hertz. Fucking, it's like shit like that. Like I memorize. I'm very.
Well, that's good. Being a perfectionist is not a bad thing, as long as you are, taking care of you're balancing your mental health and you're making sure you're not going too overboard with it. I think that's when it becomes a problem for perfectionists, when they just get too engulfed into it and you stop caring about the other aspects of your life.
For sure. I just want to say thanks to all these people in the stream here. Like everything they're saying is very insightful and helpful. Like
hell yeah. I wanted you to see this. This is why I was like, yo, I want you to come on the stream. I had thought about the idea of pre-recording it and then kind of putting it out there, but I was like, nah, like I want this to be live. I want people to be able to discuss, to give advice, because even myself, I have trouble. So yeah, I'm in a relationship. Most of my friends, like around this time period, 28, a lot of my friends are not living near me anymore. Like the people that I was closest with my whole life. What'd you say?
They moved on. They got kids. And
they got
life.
I go down my news feed and people getting married, people having kids, and like it's just this age right here. So like it's tough. There are times where it's just me and my wife, and even that, you need time with other people. I really do. Like I've come to learn this and believe this, that even as great as your marriage is, as special as it is, you definitely need time with other people. That way you can just interact with other, like, it gets real problematic when your partner is your sole source of happiness, because what happens
and irritation, like they manifest into irritation.
If they're your sole source of happiness as well, and then they're no longer there, you get into a really bad position, because that sole source of happiness was all you concentrated on. When you have friends and you have other circles and stuff, it kind of spreads your the affection and the love and the care that you get from not just one source. And somebody said, and time with yourself as well. I didn't know that for a long time, because I was, from one relationship to the other. It felt like I had to be with somebody all the time. But like, you come to learn way more about yourself when you're just by yourself, and you can spend time with yourself and, just be cool with it.
I can attest to I can attest to that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as my problem was, instead of confronting the whole situation, which I really couldn't. Like, if somebody just says like "fuck you," "I don't love you," "I slept with this guy," and 2 days later you see her, them walking down the street holding hands and shit.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
shitty.
you're kind of just sucked out of existence if like they were your epicenter, right? So like I didn't deal with it in the right way. Talking with family, you know what I mean? I literally just fucking headphones on, buried myself in music, and I would just play. I probably have 600 gigabytes of just piano or just playing notes, just recorded, just to get out of reality, to escape. Up until maybe a few months ago, where I'm like, okay, there's like obviously I can do something here, but nothing is gonna like grow out of a faulty fucking seed, basically. If I'm just a toxic person, you probably see on posts and shit like that. Like, if there's anything about music and somebody says something in regards to like the right and wrong way of doing things, or like the law of music, that's usually when I get bitter and toxic, because it's all subjective. It's all interpretive, right? Or a lot of time I'll flame on people for making music, and it's like Cardi B and Drake type beat. It's like, man, you're in the wrong game for the wrong reason. Like, damn, man, when I play the keyboard, I'm literally translating my emotions into the fucking keys, because I don't know how to express it, or I just don't have the community to express it to. You know what I mean? I'm like perceptive and I'm very literate. I can explain my feelings, but it's like there's the audience. For example, streaming. I couldn't do that. My hat's off to you for being able to do that, because like, man, like I can't cater to the screen. That's just, it's like, you're a soldier. Crazy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And let me just say, man, so like I know completely the feeling of what you're talking about when you feel like you're putting your heart and soul into something, and you feel like you're so like, I'm really trying to be different. I'm really trying to be unique. And then you see somebody else just trying to ride somebody's wave. You see somebody just trying to, put out the most generic pop formulaic shit that like everybody's doing. I used to get a little tense about that stuff. I used to be like, yo, and then you'll see like they're getting more views than you too. You're like, what the fuck? Like, are people just stupid?
Jealousy's gone now, but that response is still there. It's like, it's like, really?
I feel
like,
that,
damn.
man. And it doesn't escape, streamers as well. You'll look at a certain streamer and be like, what? They're not doing anything. Like, they're doing exactly what everybody else is doing. Why do they get so many views? But you can never compare yourself. Like, that shit is the number one way to really bring yourself down, is to compare yourself to other people, because they don't have the same path as you. You don't have the same path as them. They're not doing the same things as you. Like, you got to just focus on yourself. It's really like a horse with blinders. Like, just stay focused.
No doubt.
Somebody said music is like that. It can be healing and translate emotion in a special way. Only focus on yourself. Always, Sengi. Like, that shit is, and it's easier said than done. Always easier said than done.
So true. Personally, I'm a giver. People say that, but I'm definitely a giver. Like, I definitely, I dead off on giving. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way some people are. But you do have to put yours. I don't practice what I preach, but you are the most important thing on the planet. You know what I mean? And your accountability as a responsible adult human, to pick up your fucking cigarette butt and not flick it, or recycle your cans. You know what I mean? The accountability, that's on us. Like,
because
the majority of people don't take responsibility for any of that. Like, even I'm gonna dip into some controversy here with streamers. Like, I can relate the two, the music and the streaming industry. It's like, like, you got clickbait thumbnails, right? You got, you go through the streams and you're literally looking at one duplicate of another. You know what I mean? Other than this, like, this is like the most different stream I've ever fucking seen, to be honest with you. It's usually just you know, a wall of text and nobody's really paying, the guy or girl's not paying attention, and it's like, you know, but I don't know, I don't know how you do it, but I wish you had a book or something that I could fucking read about it, because God.
Hey man, just keep coming by the stream. Like, all it really is,
Oh,
like,
I will. I'm
and to me, all I like, I've always thought about it is like, you know, you're just having a talk show. It's basically like just hanging out with friends, like in it's just chat. It's kind of like the AOL Instant Messenger chats back in the day.
I miss MSN and
yeah, all that shit. Like, it just feels like
that.
And
I miss it.
And then on top of that, yeah, like I was doing, yeah, Flazzy said, yeah, we got a book, the stream is the book. And
that's so funny.
Flazzy is an amazing friend from IRL. Like, I actually know him in real life. Super positive person. Probably the most hype person, the most hype human being. His cap locks stay on. He be typing in cap locks all the time because he's just
all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, all gas, no brakes, all the time. Firecracker. But
Love
you know, I'm glad.
Let's go.
I'm glad that you've gotten to, like, you know, see some of these people and read the comments that they've left, because
me too. This has been therapeutic.
Hell yeah. And what I was gonna say earlier, bro, when it comes to finding like a therapist or a counselor, bro, don't get discouraged if like the first one is not what you thought it was. Like, my wife be looking for a therapist, and she had like a few weeks with one person, and she was just like, I don't like this. Like, I don't feel like they're doing anything. And she kind of got turned off from the idea of a mental health counselor. And I was like, no, it's like, you know,
like someone to talk to, like.
Yeah, and I was like, you can't take that from just one person, because this is like a relationship. You could go on one date and you can't expect that that, you know, if that one date sucks, that one person sucks, you can't get mad at the whole concept. Like, you gotta try again. So now she's trying to find somebody like that she actually can vibe with.
It's funny, it might not even be a therapist that is, you know, that fills that void, like the void of just being able to, like, you know, just decompress, you know, like sometimes you just don't need, like, you need to vent, but sometimes you don't need somebody's retort. You don't need to hear, oh yeah, you know, but it's like, oh, you had a hard day at work, you didn't get a lunch break, fucking kids in Africa are fucking starving. It's like, well, I don't need to hear that. Just like, you know, builds on the weight, right? Like, you know, as a partner, like, as a partner, I remember it's like my I won't lie, my dad was a horrible. Is that too loud? Yeah. He was a horrible person. Growing up, treated my mom like shit, and it's like, nah, man. I was like 180, never raised my voice, never demean, never disrespect, never, ever. In 10 fucking years, you know. And then it's like on the day she breaks up with me, I'm like, you fucking bitch. I didn't, but like, you know, it's like,
yo, man,
it's like, damn,
it comes, everybody has a breaking point, right? Like, you could be the nicest person in the world, but Gandhi at some point must have got real pissed off and said fuck at something. Like, everybody has a breaking point, and you can only take so much.
True.
I think it's worse when you honestly try and bottle those emotions in.
It's so much worse. Oh my.
That shit is not good. When you bottle that in, like, it eventually has to all come out, and it's gonna come out and you're gonna take it out on someone who didn't deserve it.
Especially, that's so true. And it's like, it also builds into this situation where you're like this person that people want to hang out with, but when you hang out with them, like, you just fucking, you're like the monkey on the shoulder. You're just dragging them down, and just the cynical, pessimistic, you know, just everything that could be is a glass half empty. That's the kind of attitude that I've carried for quite some time. But it's like, you know, usually online, you know, it's like it's so easy to play devil's advocate. But, you know, in person, I mean, it's even easier for me because you can hear the tonality. It's like, but I mean, it's not offensive, right? Like, toxic. It's like,
I was gonna say, I hope you don't take, like, because it's real easy to be like, what's it called? To start thinking that everybody's pitying you, like, to think that people are just putting up with you or dealing with you, or like they pity you. You know, there are genuinely good people out there, and I feel like you could always tell when the difference between pitying you and genuinely just wanting to be nice to you, genuinely just wanting to put out good vibrations into the universe.
For sure. Absolutely. It's like, shit. it's I don't know. I can't say that COVID isn't a pretty big detriment to this whole situation, because it's like it's just put a reason not to fuck with people, not to be personal. It's just it's COVID. It's COVID. Why would we got vaccinated? Why would we meet up? You know what I mean? It's like it's just I'm not anti-vaxxer. I'm not for vaccinations. I'm just anti-stress and anti-bullshit. I just want to chill.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm anti-stress and anti-bullshit too, man.
It's like cruise control for cool, man. I just want to cruise. That's it. No, if my heart rate goes past 89 or 88, like that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that I'm looking everywhere I look. It goes up to like 200, I bet. But
dude, I really think
it gets me.
You gotta cut out toxic things from your life and toxic environments. Like there are friends, bro, who I could not chill with past like being 19, 20. Like they were amazing friends from when I was younger and I wanted to get fucked up with them. But it came a certain point in my life where they were not nothing good was coming of us chilling. Only bad things were coming. Like we weren't growing as humans, we weren't being productive, we weren't creating anything, we were just getting in trouble. And at a certain age, that's just not cool anymore.
Yeah. Snap out of it and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have been breaking into cars and freaking shredding up people's licenses and registrations and shit.
Yeah,
and
fucking
I shouldn't have been doing that. It's a horrible thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just grow out of it. You grow out of it, and certain people don't grow out of it. That's when it's on you to leave that person or leave that environment.
I mean, I feel like I grew out of. I feel like I woke up, and people say I'm woke, all the time. But I feel like I snapped out of the whole illusion of what they want you to think in life. And around 15, 16, it was like, oh geez, I gotta work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. That's my life. That's life. You gotta work. You gotta do something. So it's like it's not life's not a bitch and then you die. It's just like it's suffering and you just gotta make it fucking work. You just gotta tread lightly. Just.
That should be freaking me out too sometimes, that I'm like, yo, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next, and then I start counting. I'm like, if I want to retire and retire comes, I got to work for the next 60 something. Holy, and I start really freaking out because I'm like, can I even make it? And then I start thinking like, nah, right now, like the age is 65 or whatever it is. Like by the time that I get to that age, I'm going to be working forever. And I really start freaking out about shit like that. But like sometimes you got to just breathe, bro. Like sometimes you really got to just be like, out here like, all right, let me breathe, because the world is crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, my whole drive right now, everything that's driving me in music, and it's like I don't have an agent. I don't have everything. All the contract and shit I get, they're not even contracts. It's somebody messaged me on Facebook and paying me under the table just to mix or master or produce something for them, and it's cheap and whatever, right? But like if anything were to ever come from, hypothetically, in a perfect dystopia, for me, because I don't want to be famous. I don't make music and do this for anyone else but myself, but if I ever became famous, man, I couldn't watch people suffer. I couldn't do it. There's a YouTube channel called Invisible People, and I've been working on a project. It's just basically, you should check it out, everyone who's watching. It's Invisible People. It's just about people
on YouTube?
Yeah. It's just super simple interviews with people, that couldn't pay rent for a week and they lost their house. Now they're homeless. They've been homeless for 10 years. Bang, 1 week. Just like the most. It's horrible, man. I can't go through one without shedding a tear, totally fucking bawling.
I see I see it here. It looks like I'm gonna subscribe on YouTube. Oh wow,
yeah,
they got a lot of subs too. They're big.
Yeah, I've downloaded every single video that they've made, and I've been chopping it up to like producers put out an EP of all their, say like 8 songs or whatever, and I'm gonna be mixing and syncing it to like those videos, like Invisible People,
Oh wow.
Just try to at least raise awareness. No, it's not even raising awareness. It's my way of expressing how I feel about these people, because like to me they're not invisible, man. You know, like because I've become one of these. You know, it's like thank gosh I have my family. You know, or I'd be homeless. I'd be fist fucked on site, man. I'd be done. But you know, I'm blessed to have like a family that's tolerant. You know, but if I could ever help, I would. I would buy, you know, it's like buy a mansion with 50 rooms. Those rooms would be filled every night, man. Like I'm telling you, it's just.
You see, this is what I like to hear, man. You have so many things that you are genuinely passionate about, and that you genuinely care about, and that you genuinely want to make change and affect the progress and the change of it. And I like that. I really think that you know, if you started looking at life in a little bit of a different light, and then really focusing on the stuff that you're doing is really fucking cool. Like, don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not cool. The stuff that you're doing is insanely cool, and the stuff that you're passionate about is extremely important. It's things that, like, you know, and unfortunately not everybody has the time to care about homelessness because they're working 3 jobs and they're taking care of kids, and like, you know, not to make excuses for anybody, but everybody's got their different shit.
I totally know where you're coming from. It's just it's so it's such a predicament on that, you know. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Someone said hard being a giver without too much to give. Exactly. Like it, you know, sometimes you want to do more. And that's when you start feeling shitty because you're like, I can't do anything. The world is just going to shit and I can't do anything but sit back and watch it all go to shit. But you know, the little things, it's about those little things, like we said, like just doing those little things and having more accountability about what it is that we can do to change things on our level. And I think you should always do that. And the way that you were talking about, like, these aren't invisible people anymore. I made a video for one of my friends who's a collage artist, and we uploaded it to YouTube. And one of the comments that he got was somebody saying something nice about the art he was making. And he responded back, and that person replied back to him and was like, wow, thank you so much for replying to my comments. I really appreciate it. I'm deaf. And all my life I've felt invisible, and I felt like, you know, nobody can hear me and I'm in the background, and you just replying to my comments, that little action that he did, little acknowledgement, that little tiny bit of time that he took out of his day just to comment back really made them feel like, wow, I'm not invisible anymore.
Wow. That like literally plucked the strings in my heart. Like that's insane.
And it's from a YouTube comment. Like, you know, we talk about how there's so much toxicity and negativity out there, but those little things, we don't tend to focus on them as much because people love drama, people love fighting, people focus on the negative all the time. But those little comments are out there, and those people are out there, and they're just looking for content that makes them feel something.
Yeah, you're totally right. Among the instant gratification, you get these actual like human beings, not just digits, you know, like that are actually, you know,
more than that, yeah,
giving or exactly just like giving actual insight, you know, like insight, oversight, and hindsight. It's crazy. I don't know. I couldn't imagine blowing up, you know what I mean? I would never want that.
You know who has it great? Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is like a super, like, you know, everybody knows Frank Ocean, but he could really just go disappear for like 2 to 3 years and nobody knows where he's at.
Oh man. If I ever was in the limelight, yeah, no, I definitely have to. I'd move to Russia or something. I'd have to just get out because. There's no way. I'm an extrovert, but I'm not an attention. I don't like attention. You know what I mean? I love attention, like the feel and adrenaline, but I don't like the it's
to be there. Dude, for
it's
me,
more. After you, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, for me, with streaming, with making music, with any of it, I've always just wanted the freedom to be able to, like, you know, I don't have set hours to do this. I want not so much the not so much the money, not so much the accolades, not so much the fame. What I want is the freedom of being able to be like, look, I can make a living anywhere in the world doing this, and I'm not just trapped. Like, being stuck at not stuck, but being at a 9-to-5 job, no matter how good that job is, you are bound to that. Like, you can't just up and
Totally.
move. You have to think about it, especially once you start to have a wife, once you start to have kids. You can't just make that decision like, my fucking manager was pissing me off today, so you know what, I'm gonna quit on their bitch asses. I'm not even gonna give 2 weeks, fuck them. You can't do that anymore, because you got to think about your family and your wife. And you know, so I've always wanted the freedom that comes with like content creation at a high level.
I mean, I honestly hope, if anyone deserves it, to be honest, it's you, man. Like, hands down. I can't be any more honest. Like, I'm not just, you know, yanking your chain. There's too many clones, you know. It's like, and I hate to say that. It's because you know, 7.9 billion people. I really would like 7.9 unique people, but you know, with that high of a number, you're never gonna. You're gonna get.
I never thought of it like that.
Copies. I mean, I'm like a more I guess my brain works more mathematically than like artistically, but like it translates. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that is. What's the word? You know, synesthesia.
What's that?
It's like a condition. Some people. There's two types. There's synesthesia type 1, where you see sound as color. And there's multiple weird auditory visual hallucinations back and forth. But
I think
I have type
seen
2.
a video of that.
Yeah. It's like type 1 is fucking crazy, but type 2 is like, I found out that I have it. It's like when I play a key on the keyboard, like or a piano, I won't, you know, I'm feeling for the key, and then when I actually hit it, I almost can see a texture or a color or like a what's it called, like, you know, the softness of like gold as opposed to tungsten or like, you know, quartz, you know, like it has textures. All sound has texture to me visually in my mind, so it's something that I learned about myself, and
that's amazing. Do you mind?
That helps me translate.
Do you think if you know what happened in your life hadn't happened, would you have ever gone into music? Was music something that you did like earlier on in your life? Or
I used to listen to music and think that, like, man, as soon as you start producing music, you start realizing how much intricate work people have to do to go into cinema or anything, man. Audio, to syncing it up with the video, and it's such an art. It's like, it's a blessing and a curse, because I can't watch and Netflix and chill. I can't just relax. I'm constantly like, not criticizing, just like thinking and like filtering out how they made that sound,
I do that all the time with movies, because like I'm a video editor, so I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, yo, that was a hard cut, or this is how they filmed this, and like that shit gets my wife so tight. She's just like, hold on, like, shut up, just wait for the movie to like get to a part where like you can talk. But I'll be like, oh, this, and I know that for a fact with music it's got to be the same. You're just like, oh, they didn't mix this right.
oh yeah. I mean, I've been at it for 2 years. Music, I've been at it for maybe a year and 8 months or so, or take. But like, I've done like 1,400 projects now, 1,500 projects now, and like, yeah, no, I mean, the amount of effort that you put in pays off, and like, you know, 98% of the population just listens to it and, oh, it's good, oh, it's bad. It's a 50-50 chance, you know, so
they don't know what goes into it.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, like, you know, you got 15 instruments and you want them all to play at the same time in their own space. That's pretty.
And we always give the most credit to the, you know, to the face of it. Like we'll compliment the artist, but we don't know the team behind the artist.
For sure, there's probably 10 people behind every big track that comes out. Every top 40, there's probably 10 people.
From the writing to the production to so many other little things.
Yeah, mixing, the mastering, the fucking all of it. Not to mention the 15 people you have in the studio just throwing out ideas.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
literally, yeah.
That's how the synergy is just beautiful. You know, I haven't experienced that because of COVID and whatnot, but like,
you'll get.
Like, I have collaborated on Discord with people, and like, it's, you know, you get a video editor and an audio engineer in the same room, and like
Man.
one does something insane and it just inspires the other one, and it just goes back and forth, and it's a good competition
Hey.
for the same goal. It's insane. I love it.
Fucking magic. And I hope one day we get to collaborate, man, because I'm a video editor, you're an audio engineer. One day I hope we make something dope. And I like the style of stuff you make, man. I don't, like, I've always said, I hate like the happy production, like fucking like the very bright upbeat production. I don't like that stuff. Like I don't know, I just, for whatever reason, I just don't like it. And
I won't lie, I can't make that shit. I can't. Like I've done like templates where it's like, just do this, and like I've left it, and it's just, it doesn't matter. It always becomes, I'm just into dark, ominous, evil, the aesthetic of evil. That's what I'm into. No, I'm not a Satanist or anything. I have no malice in my heart, no evil in my heart, but I love the aesthetic of evil, for sure. You know, I hate evil, but it's just
the aesthetic of it. I feel that
something about it, you know.
Those dark colors, I love it. Ghana says, I like my music being purple. That's such a vibe. That is like the vaporwave type vibe for me, like where I be smoking and I'm just like, the purple right there. Someone said, oh snap, we're making a band, let's go. Yes, that's it. That's what this is about. Finding other creatives. Like, I'm all about putting content creators on here, giving them a platform. Just let them talk. Like, it's not work for me. People be saying like, oh, you do so good at interviewing, and I'm just like, yo, I literally go on there and I just talk to them and let people have the platform to discuss what it is they're passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know how long you've been streaming, but it's like, damn, I don't know. You hold it together like actual, I don't know.
I appreciate it, man. I've been podcasting for like before I was streaming, and it was definitely, you know, I've been learning. It's everything is just a learning thing. I've had conversations that didn't go great. Like, I've had conversations where I'm just like, you know, the other person is just reading from a card. It's like talking points. It's literally like, okay, they had a PR person like write up their answers beforehand and shit, and I hate those. I like this type of stuff where we could joke around. There's like, you know, not like a feeling of like, I have to be sitting here very formal and I can't mess up this next question. Like, I like just fucking around.
Same, and I mean, that's just, I mean, that's reality though, you know. It's like, I just, you know, if I came on here and you were anything but how you are, it would have totally gone a different way. Because I'm not an asshole, but I'm not the type of person that just like totally peel over and just be like, you know, just put, you know, I guess.
Yeah, nah.
I'll accept my mistakes, but I won't.
For sure. And the last thing I wanted was for it to feel like, oh, I'm having this person come on here so I could just like, you know, like scold them. Like, why were you mean to me? Like, nah, man, like, I'm a grown ass dude. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you know, why did you do that? Like, what was going on? Like, I genuinely wanted to know your story. I wanted to know why it was, like, what made you even be like willing to come on here? What made you even willing to accept like, this is what I was doing?
Your offer, I don't know why. It's something that you said, yeah, because you know, it's like you get a streamer and they're like, oh, you should come on. Like, I read it as bait. Like, come on and let me fucking, you know, cock my Smith & Wesson back and put it to your fucking dome. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much what I read. But I was like, at the time I felt it as a challenge. I was like, you know what? Like, I was an idiot. I was an asshole. Now it's time to own up, not man up, but like own it, you know, take accountability for my actions and fucking tuck it between my legs. I'm an idiot. I'm a human. You know, I've made mistakes and I'll make millions more, you know. I'll never stop fucking learning. I'm always going to be a student, you know.
Hell yeah. Real quick, I just got to say, I don't know how to pronounce this username. Dejin. Yo, is this you? Hold on.
What? Dejin?
No, that's not you, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's me.
Oh, that is you. Holy shit, yo, my bad. I literally, like, just because the letters looked kind of like a bot. That's who I was saying earlier. I thought I got bot followers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay, now I know, dude.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I
Yo,
got different accounts for everything.
bro,
like,
I get
different
mad
pictures on my
paranoid. I get paranoid
phone
because
and-
one day I got hit with 35 fucking different bots, and like the sound alert was just going off. So for like a good 7 minutes, it was just like dum dum dum, like the follow noise that I have, and it was horrible, man. It ruined the whole stream. So now I'm
man.
super paranoid.
Oh,
I had to check like okay, when was this user account created, because I'll see a lot that are created literally like 4 days ago, and I'm like, fuck, the
really,
bots.
really, there's that many? Like, what? How do you?
Bro,
how do
it's
people
like a
benefit from
thing.
this?
Like the hate
I don't
raids
get
and the bots on Twitch are it's a real ass thing. Like they literally are just like running scripts that they'll get somebody, and like you'll get 35 to like 50 different followers, but it just fucks you up because all those sound alerts are going off and they're not real followers.
Yeah, they're just, yeah, and not to mention like them liking your feed. Well, them liking your broadcast, puts you in their algorithm, which is just a bunch of bots. Eventually, it's just gonna get into
Exactly.
a cesspool of bots, and
Yeah.
I
And
totally understand that.
I've gotten like I've heard stories about like people where Twitch will take like action on their account. They'll like temporarily suspend their account because they think like that they're using follower bots, and it's not even their fault. So I get so paranoid at that shit, and I'm glad that I figured out that this was you. I was like, okay, wait, this looks familiar. I saw this in Discord.
See, I figured it was like, I don't know, because Twitch you have to have an email and authentication and whatnot. SoundCloud you can just go log into Google, bang, I got 15 Google accounts,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Here
So
we
like
go.
on SoundCloud, man, it's like
It's easy.
I got so many different likes and followers. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
It's all about retention. I mean, you could probably tell statistics on your end, like how, like the click rate on your videos, the watch rate, how long people watch,
Yeah,
the interaction.
I really try not to focus on those numbers too much, man, because like that shit'll drive you insane.
I wouldn't on a stream. Yeah, that's a yeah.
And it's really
Definitely.
like what you were saying, it's not about the likes, it's not about the followers, it's not about the numbers. It's about genuine, like for music, it's genuine people that will come back and listen to your next single. They'll listen to your next track, like, or for streaming, people that'll come back to your chat, people that will come back and watch your next stream. Like that's what's important. It really does not fucking matter if you have like, I've seen so many people with 30,000 likes on Instagram or some shit, and then you go down to their post and it's like 20 people liked it or whatever, 20 people saw it. And it's like, I know what you did. You fucking bought these. And I'm like, what does that do for you?
I've considered it. Just it's like,
I think
maybe
you get certain benefits if you're at like if you're at more than 10,000. I know you can do like certain swipe up features. That would be the only reason I would get it, to unlock those shits.
Right, and honestly, I wish I could. I don't know. I wish I could just go and have you blow up because, oh man, you know what?
Hard work, man. Hard work.
It's like you're talking about your significant other looking for, just a counselor or someone to talk to, other than you, and it's like what you're doing here is just I can't be anything but grateful, honestly. Like it's just like shit. I've even called, the suicide lines and shit. Even when I'm not suicidal, I need to talk to someone. You know what I mean? I've done that, and like it's even these people, man. And I understand. You listen to people all day, whatever. But you're more reciprocative and more accommodating and just empathetic than any of these outlets that I've gone through thus far. And I just want to say like thank you, like.
You're welcome
from
here.
the bottom of my heart, man. Like
you're
as
welcome
a human,
here whenever, bro. You are welcome here whenever, man.
I'll
like,
tune in every chance I get.
And definitely, sure. Like, don't get discouraged when it comes to not being able to find the right outlet. You will find it, man. You will find it. And I really like what you said too. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be what you think it's gonna be, like a mental health counselor. Like, it could be something completely else. But the point is to not give up. Like, you will find what it is that helps you get through it.
Yep. Oh, for sure. You have to, yeah. Like you have to just, like I go through the ups and downs like it's a roller coaster. Like it's horrible, but But the second I get to the lowest point, it's like okay, like really, like where else? How much lower can you go without like just being a fucking coward? And I'm not saying suicide's cowardly, but it's like every person has the potential to do something in their life. You know what I mean? Like if they're depressed about something, then they can talk to someone about it. You know what I mean? Like the brain is malleable. It's more malleable than fucking molten steel. You know, like you can make it into anything. Like it's just mind over matter. Like you just have to have, like you've been saying multiple times, you just keep saying it to yourself, basically, you know. And like it's true. It actually does drill into you, you know. And it works the opposite way. The more you fall into the the more you descend into the abyss, the more and more weight just piling up on top of you.
It's
like,
so contagious. It really
it
is
is
so contagious. But you will always do better when you have a good circle around you. When you have other
For
people
sure.
that are also positive, it will, like, you know, it's like the classic, like, you'll get tired, but the people behind, like, they're around you, they'll keep you going. And if you don't have people that will help you keep going, you got to change that. And it's easier said than done, but, you know, you could always find it, and you can find it here. I promise you that. Ghana, I used to be into music, so I made rap music since I was 18 till I want to say like 24. Unfortunately, with hip hop, I always felt like there was an age where I was like, yo, if I don't blow up by this point, if I don't make it in this, then yeah, like, you know, hip hop is one of those tough things where nobody's looking for like a cover band for hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're in an original rock band and you don't make it, you could always do cover bands. You could always do way more things and continue to play.
Even being a conscious literal rapper, and you're rapping about like Immortal Technique is just top of my head, just, you know, real things in life, things that matter. Even that, just fucking people just blast it off their shoulder and listen to fucking XXX Temptation.
Exactly.
I'm not saying these people are bad. It's just they, you know, people like the fucking 1-2-1-2. They don't like the story that takes you through and through, right? Like.
Exactly.
But I am gonna have to take off, unfortunately.
Of course. No worries. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
I saw that you posted your SoundCloud. I'm going to repost that as well.
By all means, you don't even have to repost it. I don't even.
Oh no, bro! Please.
Nothing on there is.
But you will. But it'll give you motivation, bro. It'll give you motivation. More people will start wanting to come, and then you'll want to just do your thing, bro. I love it. I love anybody who is a musician, because being a musician is fucking hard. And whenever you're a musician, you know that you're expressing what you have inside, and you have like a genuine taste to just like, you know, express yourself. And sometimes words are not the easiest way to express yourself.
Yeah. And on that note, I'd like to even extend, like, anyone listening, or you included. Like a lot of music production doesn't even happen, isn't done by the person that has had the birth idea, the genesis of the song. You know, you have an idea for a song. Usually that person isn't like, it's not the one to mix it. It's not the one to master it. It's just, you know, it's the producer, right? So if anyone in here is like looking to get into music, they want to learn, anything with audio, I am willing to sit and just teach and help learn. If you want to start rapping, I will help you with your fucking iBuds. I don't care. Let me know. Yeah, you know where to get me on SoundCloud there, and just leave a message and bang, I'll get back to you right away. All right. But yeah. I just also want to say just thank you so much. Like this is so therapeutic. Like, you know, it's like invisible people, man. Like you'll only be invisible for so long. I don't know. You have so much. You are giving so much that you don't probably consciously know. That I'm looking at Summit on the side here at 14,000 people watching him. Well, it's just like sitting there like a dickhead. So I just want to say thanks for actually being a human being and listening, and, you know, reciprocating the emotion.
Thank you for being vulnerable and for coming on and for sharing your story, man. For real, like, I really do appreciate you having the courage to come on here.
Thanks. I mean,
You were real
I was
one, bro.
hesitant.
This is not the
I was
last time.
hesitant.
This is not the last time. There's actually, my wife is right there in the chat right now. Hola, Sundere. How are you? Our guest Don is just about to head out, but we're giving our final words right here because it was great. This conversation was amazing, and I honestly knew that the second I got the chance to actually speak to you and hear your story, we would have an amazing talk.
I had that feeling too. Definitely. There's that like telekinesis synergy there. I don't know. But I'll leave that at that note. You all take care, stay safe, and yeah, just have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Hey, thank you so much. We'll talk soon, Don. Take it easy, man. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
You too.
All
Take
right,
care.
bye-bye.